Hi guys, welcome. Let's have some conversation about the Aquarius New Moon taking place on the 11th of February 2021. So we know that a new moon happens when the sun and the moon are in the same degree of any sign, right? And so this new moon happens to take place at 23 Aquarius. And we've been talking a lot about Aquarius, right? Because we've had all that Capricorn energy and all of these big planets have moved into Aquarius. So this is kind of like a super stellium. Well, I mean, kind of, sort of, in Aquarius, because we have 6 planets in Aquarius energy at the time of this new moon. I mean, we do right now, just FYI. However, so here's how this rolls out. At the time of the new moon, Saturn will be at 6 degrees of Aquarius. It will be sextiling Chiron, which is at 6 degrees of Aries, and it will be square to Uranus, which is at 7 degrees of Taurus. Jupiter and Venus will be conjunct at 12 degrees of Aquarius. And Mercury, still in retrograde, is at 16 degrees of Aquarius, trining the North Node, which is at 17 degrees of Gemini, and squaring a Taurus Mars at 18 degrees. And then the Sun and the Moon are conjunct at 23 degrees of Aquarius. So let's talk about Aquarius energy, okay? So we all know that in Eileen land, Aquarius is really, in my opinion, the fullest expression of any actuated personality in terms of astrological energy, right? It is how we put our self into the collective. And so this is innovative energy. This is it's about newness. It's about those aha moments, those eurekas, right? It's a little bit eccentric. It is mostly ruled by ideas, right? It has a detachment, but the detachment it's kind of, there's a little bit of paradox to it, because the Aquarian detachment is not disconnected, right? It's detached. It wants the best possible outcome for everyone, not just the best possible outcome for me, right? So Aquarius is really more of a we energy than a me energy, right? Its complementary sign is Leo, which is the sign of me, right? And so Aquarius is that me in the we, right? The we comprised of many, many me's, which I'm going to stop saying now. But so Aquarius is about like the new normal, right? Which is never normal and doesn't really want to be normal. And yet understands that every intersection between sovereign entities is a potential, right? There's potential in every single one of those connections. Nothing is unchanged by the fullness of the individual. In fact, the collective is comprised of the fullness of the individual. So as we've talked about, right, we are moving out of this 250-year cycle ruled by Earth energy. And as we've had Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto all conjunct in Capricorn, and now we're moving into this new energy, this new next cycling of energy, right? That's going to really create a whole new playing field, not just for us, but for everything and everyone as we move away from these earth-based values, right? This is the reevaluation of our values individually and collectively, right? So this is that point of condensation of this new energy, right? We're really allowing ourselves, and the universe is allowing us to be steeped in this energy. So this is like a supercharge in terms of frequency and modulation and vibration. This is kind of like our collective attunement to these new energies. So at this new moon in Aquarius, I highly recommend that you really get in vibrational alignment, not just visualizing, not just imagining, but really speak to your frequency here, speak to your energy here, and allow your intentions to create an embodiment of this shift, of this change, of this broad, sweeping, brand new era, right? Not just an era of energy or an era of new galactic energy, but an era of new personal energy, because the earth, the galaxy, the collective can only hold the energy that you are willing to embody. So as you're considering your new things, right, with your intentions, right, we intend our new things. Don't just consider consider not just the new thing, but consider a new way, right? I think that it was Henry Ford who said something like, when he built his cars, right? I think it was the Model A, I think. Someone asked him about why did you do it? And he said, well, you know, if I would have given the people what they wanted, I would have never done it, because they just wanted faster horses, right? But he created something brand new in a whole entirely new way that reshaped the future, that reshaped the collective experience. I mean, and let's contemplate, how are we now still dealing with that last innovation? What did we learn from it? A whole lot, right? A whole lot. So this is a place where we get to allow, and we get to envision, and we get to envision as widely as we possibly can, right? And one of the things that I like to say quite often is, all that's left of 3D is your memory of it, right? We are at the edge. We are literally dancing on and creating the event horizon every moment, right? This is an invitation. This is an initiation, really. And so some of the driving words that I might invite you to meditate on as you shape and form your intentions would be contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment, right? This is not the time for same shit, different day. This is not the time for same old, same old. This is not the time to say, well, this is how I've always done it. This is what it's always looked like. This is the way it's always been. This is not that time. Do not dig in to your tried and true, because if you're not content and satisfied and fulfilled by your tried and true, then you're going to have to think outside the box. And in fact, you might want to ditch the whole box. You might want to ditch the idea of a box, right? Even though we've got Saturn in Aquarius asking us, are you sure about this box? Are you sure? Right? We have to structure it somehow. How could we structure it? Maybe not outside that box, right? Oh, that's funny. So ask yourself, right? What are you believing? What are you intending? What are you creating? What are you manifesting? What are you claiming? What are you witnessing? And what is the fusion, right, of all of those things? And contemplate the strategies that will allow you to create perhaps a new idea of what an idea looks like, right? Pay attention to the nuance too, right? We talked about the event horizon. Well, you are creating the event horizon. And what is the event horizon but that nuance between what has always been and what is becoming, right? We're always in shift. We're always in becoming. We are never, ever stagnant. We only believe that we are, right? Just because you're content doesn't mean you're static. Just because you're satisfied doesn't mean you're static. Just because you're fulfilled doesn't mean you're static, because nothing lasts forever. Certainly not contentment, certainly not satisfaction or fulfillment. These are in motion processes, right? It's just this earth energy that's created this belief that, oh, here we are and it's great, it's beautiful, we're just going to keep it this way. No, that's not how energy works. That's not how the universe works. That's not how you work. That's not how relationship works. That's not how anything works, right? So we have these squares, right, to Uranus and Mars, and I talked a little bit about the squares and how the squares have a choice to be made, right, between static and dynamic tension, right? Squares create tension in those corners because you have to be able to turn, right? We never are just always moving in a straight line. And so the more you embrace both edges of the square, both sides of the square, then you can utilize all of that energy. The more you resist it, the more you try to keep yourself fixed, right? We've got Aquarius, which is a fixed sign. Taurus, which is a fixed sign. You know, Uranus and Mars are in Taurus. And then all of this energy in Aquarius, you get to choose. Are you going to just dig your heels in and sit? Guess what? You can't. Mars is in Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus. Mars, the planet of forward motion. Uranus, the planet of change. You don't get to sit now. We don't get to sit now. We do not get to be stagnant, right? This is the sun, our planet of being. The moon, our planet of feeling. Mercury, the planet of communication. Venus, our planet of loving. Jupiter, our planet of expanding. Saturn, our planet of structuring. All of those are active processes. All of those are active processes asking us, step forward, change, step forward, change. Step forward and change your ways of being, your ways of feeling, your ways of communicating, your ways of loving, your ways of expanding, your ways of structuring your reality, right? There is no here we are forever. There's only here we are, here we are, here we are, here we are, right? All right, we got the Eight of Pentacles. This is about mastery. This is about working. Three of Cups. This is about celebration. This is a celebration of our work, right? This is how we practice. Aquarius allows us to be in practice and to celebrate while we're doing it. This is our process of getting to contentment, of getting to satisfaction, of getting to fulfillment. Right? We have to keep practicing. We never just get to sit in the lawn chair forever. There's nothing wrong with sitting in the lawn chair and thinking, wow, look what an amazing thing we're making. But you don't get to sit there forever because you have to be part of the process. That's how you get to fulfillment, right? So, we have the Eight of Cups. This is about that emotional journey, right? This is about taking that emotional journey. We have Aquarius and Venus both. We have the moon and Venus both in Aquarius, right? And then we've got the Three of Wands. This is long-term planning. This is drawing the future toward you, right? Pulling your creation and manifestation in. How do you get there? You walk away from the stuff that isn't working, right? Anything that's not satisfying, anything that's not part of your contentment, anything that's not part of your fulfillment. We walk toward this. We walk away from this. This is the same process, though. It's the same process. Leaving behind the things that aren't fulfilling and satisfying and contentment, the things that aren't bringing you love and happiness, is the same thing as welcoming the things which do, right? So it's a process. It's a process. It's a process. Ooh, yeah. So we got death. and the Three of Cups. Let's just have that moment right there, okay? So we know death is about transformation, right? Pluto is still sitting back there. Pluto is still sitting back there in Capricorn, witnessing our motion, right? Witnessing how we are dissolving our structures, witnessing how we are moving toward our contentment and satisfaction, witnessing what we're willing to let go of in the process, in the pursuit, in the claiming and allowing of our own transformation. Well, the Three of Cups is that energy of celebration, right? It's pure joy, right? It's yay, my heart is overflowing. The Three of Cups, or the Four of Cups, is that energy of the Three of Cups being gifted that Ace of Cups, right? What do we know about aces? Aces are offered. Aces must be received with gratitude and then put into action. If you're still sitting here going, I'm not so sure, I don't know, you're never going to get to here if you're stuck here. You're never going to get here if you say no here. The universe is handing out party gifts for showing up. You can say thank you, or you can say no thanks. I just don't know. Maybe. Happiness? You want to give me happiness and love? I'm not sure. Okay. All right, we've got the Five of Wands and the Emperor. So let's talk about the Five of Wands. If you notice, here in the Five of Wands, so wands are about, it's about passion, right? Motivation, what gets your juices going, right? It's that fire in your belly. It's the reason that you put your feet on the floor in the morning. It's what gets you and keeps you moving, right? This is your dedication, okay? So, but if you notice here, in the Five, nobody is actually doing anything. They're all just looking like they're doing something, right? They're just standing around, posturing, harumphing. This is my idea, this is my idea, this is my idea, this is my idea. Well, that's great. Everybody can have ideas. But until you find a point of integration, they're just ideas, right? We've had 250 years of Earth energy. This is my idea, this is my idea, this is my idea, this is my idea. It's time now to put down the wands and choose perhaps a new way instead of a new thing, right? To put down the idea of faster horses, right? And bring in that newness, right? This is what we're looking for. This is where it's at right there. So the Emperor is this patriarchal earth-structured energy, right? He is the summation of all kings, and the summation of all kings is one step back. We're looking, we're assessing. I understand how to be the embodiment, but I'm just, it's a little messy for me, right? I'm gonna just assess. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna be detached. I'm just gonna check things out instead of being in my experience, right? This is a time to create your experience, right? Not to be outside of it looking in, not to be one step back holding your idea in your hand like a weapon. Instead, we want to be practicing our stuff so that we can enjoy it and have fun and have a fulfilled, wonderful future and life. Look, we have 2 8s here. We have 2 3s here, right? So contemplate, what are we actually creating? We want to create this concept of union, right? 1 and 1 is 3. We know this, right? 1 and 1 is 3. Yes, it is. All right. we've got the Star. This is the card of Aquarius, y'all. This is astrology. This is wish fulfillment. This is the magic of the future. You see here, literally embodied Aquarian energy. This is the water bearer. This is how things get done. This is how we bring the emotion down into fulfillment, right? So this is how we take this beautiful celebration energy and practice it in order to create the embodiment of it. What do we have to do? Well, the Ten of Swords is all about I am pierced by every single sword, right? I'm done in. And the key here is that swords represent ideas. These are all your ideas of maybe not. I gotta find a new way. Well, the new way is to put down your ideas. The new way is to stop arguing about crap that doesn't matter, or stop holding on to things that aren't bringing you fulfillment, right? You can only harumph your way through life for so long. Eventually, you're either going to be miserable or you're going to decide to work on your happiness, right? Because happiness, guess what? It's a state. It's a choice. It's a thing you have to practice. And the first way to practice happiness is to put aside your ideas of what makes you happy and instead experience what actually does, right? Venus and Jupiter are conjunct, right? The way that you love, the things that you love, and the ways that you're asked to expand, it's all right here. Jupiter is conjunct Venus, right? Think about it. Put down the things that you have allowed to be in your way. Mercury is retrograde, trining the North Node. You can abracadabra your destiny. Right? Right, Amy Hardigree? You can abracadabra your destiny. Right? All you have to do is choose that Mars square is going to work for you and not against you. That it's going to work for you and not against you. That it's going to work for you and not against you. You have the option. All right, so let's talk about our pentacles. We're coming out of this earth energy, right? We're coming out of it. And here's the deal. We need pentacles, right? We need our resources. We need the things that we require. We need our intangible resources as well. We need self-esteem. We need self-worth. We do. He's the slowest moving knight in the deck, but he gets the job done. And he's offering a brand new pentacle, a brand new way of being resourced. It's yours for the taking, right? It's all yours. All you have to do is accept it and stop fighting it. Get down with it instead of ignoring it, right? Allow the new ideas to be your transformation instead of stubbornly clinging to whatever that is. Right? To whatever that is, to whatever this resistance is, to whatever this is. Saturn, even Saturn is saying, all right, guys, we got to figure out a new way. And if Saturn is saying we got to figure out a new way, you know that's true, right? And here's the deal. Saturn is about to square Uranus on the 17th. So if you really get down with your intentions in this point in time, then by the time Mercury goes direct on the 20th and comes out of shadow on the 12th of March, yeah, you got another new moon in Pisces right after that. So now is the time. And again, instead of just thinking about new things, right? Think about new ways. Think about not how you can tweak what you've been doing in the last year, right? Since the beginning of 2020, 2020, right? Go back. What have you been trying since 2020? I mean, we've all been trying everything since 2020, right? But the bottom line is really get right with that, because this cycle is asking you to step up your game. Not just step it up, but change it. Change it. If you are not experiencing ultimate contentment, ultimate satisfaction, and ultimate fulfillment, then you need to ask yourself, I got to find a new way. Not just a new thing, a new way. So what is your new way? It's a great question. What is your new way? And then shape your intentions around that answer, right? New ways of being, new ways of feeling, new ways of communicating, new ways of loving, new ways of expanding, new ways of structuring, right? New normal. Detached and connected, but powerful, square to Uranus and Mars. Creating that, like, it's like maglev, right? It's like, you know, the maglev trains, how they don't quite touch, but they have all that energy available to them. This is like maglev. 55. Taming the wind. Alrighty, guys. Stunning. Here, the feather, a symbol that is used in clearing ceremonies for smudging, reminds you of your sacred commitment made to your life. This is the symbol of consciously bringing the spiritual into the material, infusing the world with reverence and an acknowledgement of the higher planes of existence that influence and animate all life. The feather is symbolic in its reminder of deliberately entering into a partnership with the Great Spirit to co-create for the highest good of all. Hello, giant Aquarius stellium. It's time to clear your energy. Be present and become conscious of how you communicate. This is a great time to write in a journal and put your thoughts into a cohesive form. Perhaps you need to actually do a smudging ceremony in your home or office, creating a sacred space to write about your dreams and desires. Just remember that when taming the wind appears as a symbol, it's time to honor the Great Spirit with reverence and respect. It's time to clean up any misunderstandings with others, clear the air of disagreements, and allow others to share their side of things. You are now called to be a good listener. This is not a time to focus on being right. It's a time for you to understand rather than be understood. Good things come out of restraint of tongue and pen. You will be surprised at how things get resolved when you allow for all sides to have value. Well, I think that's perfect for what we just discussed, right? It's time to do things you've not done before, right? Definition of insanity. Doing the things you've always done and expecting different results. It's not going to happen. Here's the deal. You do you, right? You do you. We've got another little reflection of our number 8 here. And the key here is this. Again, this is about your contentment and your satisfaction and your fulfillment in terms of how you experience being and feeling and communicating and loving and expanding and structuring your life. This is how do you want to experience things? How do you want to feel in the long term, right? What are you going to transform in your experience? What are you going to transform so that you can get to this place of wish fulfillment? Because you have everything that you need. You've got everything you need. It's just waiting for you to let go of what no longer belongs, of the ways that you have been trying to force things, right? This energy is not going to allow anything to be forced. It's going to require flow and ease. And the way that you find that is by feeling in, is by creating intentions with the concept of brand new, right? Shift, change, broad, sweeping, giant, transformation. And again, what we know about it is that this is always the goal. No matter what you got to slog through to get here, this is where you're headed, right? It's always where you're headed. No ho-hum. There's no time for ho-hum. Woo. Get on this new moon, guys. It's a big deal. Other than that, I'll catch up with you on Sunday. Have a great rest of your week and a giantly blessed new moon. Yeah, big, big blessings.